Right, good afternoon, and today is the 4th of August 2025, and the court has just completed, the applicants and the respondents have just completed their submissions, and the judges have promised that the judgment will be out by tomorrow, or at least at the latest by Friday. So it's very important to understand what has been going on here. The lawyers have been speaking, and you can clearly see there's still people protesting outside. So there's still people protesting outside in support of Lungu. So what has happened is that in court, the respondents, okay, let's see the dignitaries from PF arriving. They're going to be leaving just now. So these are the guys from PF over here. So obviously there was a hired crowd of some sort here. The whole family is here. As you can see, the whole family of Lungu is here. And also members of the... I think let's ask them the question. Hello, sir. How are you? Good. Sorry, sir. Sorry, sir. We want to get information, sir. I want to get information from him. Just to know what is happening. How do you feel about the judgment?
We are fairly confident to stand with the family.
Yes.
We're expecting judgment either tomorrow, latest by Friday.
Yes, but what do you think from the judgment, from the arguments in court?
We're very confident.
You're confident? All right. Thank you, sir.
Done a stunning job.
All right, good job. So we have given an interview. These are the guys who are in the alliance with the Lungu. So I'm going to be hanging around a little bit and show you what's happening here. So PF is here in full force. The judgment is going to be significant because once the judgment comes out, either everyone goes back to Zambia or everyone stays here. However, my view is that the argument it's up in the air. It's up to the judges, and I want to unpack for you what are the issues. So let me unpack for you what are the issues. The issues are: did Lungu want to be buried in South Africa, or did he want to be buried in Zambia? So the judges spend a lot of time asking that question. The lawyer for Lungu was grilled a lot. They wanted to ask him, did Lungu say he wanted to get buried in South Africa, or did he want to get buried in Zambia? So eventually the question was, that document or the information that they are relying on to say he wanted to get buried in Zambia, where is that written? In South Africa, where is that written? And what is important, is it that he wanted to get buried in South Africa, or that the wife wants him to be buried in South Africa? So that was the question. The judges kept going over and over that. Did Lungu want to be buried in South Africa, or did he want to get buried in Zambia? The judges also wanted to know if there was a disagreement on whether he should be buried or repatriated to Zambia, or the issue was whether he should not, or the funeral should not be presided on by President Hakainde Hichilema. So they spend a lot of time on that. Is it that they don't want President Hakainde Hichilema to preside, or is it that they don't want the body to be moved to Zambia? And the lawyer for Lungu kept saying, Lungu, the fact that Lungu wanted to be buried in Zambia and to be repatriated was not an issue. It's not a judgment that the court can make. It is what the wife wants. That is important. So the issue here is, what is the court going to think about the fact that Lungu actually wanted to be buried in Zambia? He said in his own words that he wanted to be buried in Zambia. If he's accorded a state funeral, President Hakainde Hichilema should not preside over it. So that was the issue. The issue was not whether he should be repatriated or not. So a lot of time was spent on that. And then the question of costs also came out. Who should pay the costs? And eventually it was agreed that the issue of costs is not an issue at all. Both sides considered. Then there was the issue of cost of benefits. Does President Hakainde Hichilema agree to give the benefits of Lungu back to the wife and the family, and also to deal with all the other issues in court. And the lawyers of the applicants of the government considered that you'll be given his benefits, the wife will get the car, and they'll have all the benefits, salary will get into the bank. But the lawyer said, this is all coming now. Why is it coming now? So these are the arguments now which are wrapped up at the end of this last question. And let me show you a little bit what's happening so that I just don't talk without showing you what's going on. So there are two groups protesting here. So you can see there's one group protesting there, and there's another group protesting here. And obviously, we've got the military escort here of, you can see the whole PF group is still here. PF is still in here. Okay, so I'm just showing you the outside, what's going on the outside here. So they're still here. They've not left. The big guns of PF are still here. They're still waiting. Yeah. Then I want to show you what has happened with Vincent Kafula. So Vincent Kafula has talked to me. I've uploaded an interview of Vincent Kafula speaking. So if you go to Gambakwe Media, you're going to see Vincent. Vincent is the guy who wanted to join the case. So his case was dismissed. You can go and see that on Gambakwe. His case was dismissed by the judges. They've said he's not a part of the case. He's got there's nothing that he has to say about this case that is of interest to the case. And anyway, that is besides the point, because the whole arguments are over. What happens tomorrow? A judgment is going to come out more likely tomorrow. The judge said it's urgent. So likely the judgment is going to come out tomorrow or at the latest Friday. That's what he said. So if it comes out tomorrow, then we're going to have a decision whether the burial takes place in South Africa or the burial takes place in Zambia. But my feeling is that this is 50-50. It's a possibility, a big possibility that a judgment can be given for Zambia and a judgment can be given for South Africa. But the judge is really grilled the lawyer. The lawyer was grilled to an extent that it was so much, it was fun to watch the grilling of the lawyer. He was asked so many questions and he could not answer one particular question. Where did Lungu want to get buried? Did Lungu want to get buried in South Africa or did Lungu say he wants to get buried in Zambia? And according to the papers, Lungu said he wanted to get buried in Zambia, but he said if he gets a state funeral, he wants to be buried without President Hakainde Hichilema presiding. So the question was, what does preside mean? Does preside mean President Hakainde Hichilema cannot stand there or cannot even be in the building? Or does it mean he cannot talk at the funeral? So those are the questions that were in court. So basically the judges were like, so you guys agree to repatriate. You just don't agree on the minor issues of where President Hakainde Hichilema is going to stand. And what eventually the lawyer said was, no, we disregard the whole thing of whether he's going to be in the building or not. We don't agree to the repatriation at all. And then the question was, what is the government of Zambia seeking? Are they seeking a specific performance or are they seeking a declarata? I think the lawyers, you know what I'm talking about. And that also arose. So the judges are going to have to make a ruling, and the ruling would be, is Lungu going to be repatriated to Zambia? When he arrives in Zambia, what happens? However, the judge says they cannot make an order to order President Hakainde Hichilema. That is one thing that also arose. Can a court in South Africa order President Hakainde Hichilema what to do in Zambia? So that question arose. And then obviously that is also something that will make that will have an impact. If the court in South Africa cannot rule what President Hakainde Hichilema can do, what does that mean? So the lawyers, you have to understand and say what it means. Can the court in South Africa say a president of another country cannot do something? So it's very important to keep that in mind. And I'm just showing you as the family is starting to walk away. So that is the Lungu family here. There is a lot of people today, and the whole family is here. And I believe that PF has a branch here in South Africa. That's why you've got so many of the guys here. So as you can see, people are hanging around the court. They wanted a decision, but the decision is not coming today. So a lot of people are still hanging around the court. Yeah, and this includes the people who were with the whole group of Lungu. And you can see that they didn't want to talk to me. So that is crazy. Why would you not want to talk to me? I'm just no one. And I told the guys that no one, you can talk to me freely, but the PF guys don't want to talk to me. They believe that I support President Hakainde Hichilema, which is totally true. I like President Hakainde Hichilema, but I am a very balanced guy. Like what I'm talking to you here is totally balanced. I am giving you what happened in the court. So let's recap what happened. In the morning, the applicant arrived. The lawyer spoke for about an hour. They put the argument, which was that President Lungu wanted to be buried in Zambia. He already said he wanted to be buried in Zambia. The repatriation was agreed. There was no disagreement on the repatriation. The only disagreement was on what happens when President Lungu's body arrives in Zambia. Now, the question was, that program that was drawn up, was it drawn up by the government or was it drawn up by the Lungu family? It was found out that the program was drawn up by the Lungu family. The question was then, is that program an agreement? And it was, the court kept saying, this is the thing that you agreed. So you don't have a problem with the body going to Zambia. And the question was, so what is the problem? If you agree that the body must go to Zambia, what is the disagreement? The disagreement was, according to the defense or the respondents, the disagreement was that agreement, when it was not concluded, it fell away. So they say that agreement is not valid anymore because it was not concluded. But the judge just said the agreement was there. So why is it that you're saying the agreement didn't exist? And the example which was given was, if I'm buying a car and I also want a spare tire, does that mean that I no longer want the car? Or, and the other side said, if I'm buying the car and we disagree on the tires, then the whole deal is off. So they're now saying that agreement fell away when it didn't happen. So you can see the argument is about technicalities, and it's looking a lot like the judge will make a quick decision. They'll make a quick decision. So let me just look at who is moving in while I talk to you here. Who else is here? Okay, let's see who else is here. Okay, I can see that there's less and less people because there's some people I wanted to talk to, especially the guy with the scarf. I wanted to talk to you. Because doesn't want to talk to me at all. That was crazy. Yeah, so anyway, all I have to say is this is an interesting case. The whole city is at a standstill. Pretoria is at a standstill, and protesters everywhere. Protesters are everywhere, and there's a lot of emotion. So let me tell you about the emotion. When we got into court, people were answering the witness or the lawyer. So as the lawyer was speaking, people would talk and say, no, yes. And the judge eventually said, if you keep talking, I'm going to throw you out of the court. But in the afternoon, he was a bit lenient. He let them talk because when there was a discussion on the benefits of Lungu, there was a lot of rambling in the court, in murmuring. So people were like, no, this is not what was happening. So people would be like, no. As the lawyer speaking, it was like there were extras in a movie. It was crazy. So this is the situation right now. The arguments are complete, and now both sides are awaiting the judgment. And tomorrow we'll likely get the judgment, or by Friday. But I don't think that will go back to court. The judgment will be probably given at the chambers. So I'll give you guys an update tomorrow on whether the judgment has been reached or not. All right, so that is great. I think I've covered everything. Please go and watch Vincent Kafula. I talked to him myself. It was an exclusive. I also gave you an update in the morning on what the judges, on what the lawyer said. So I'll see you again tomorrow, possibly in the evening. I'll probably see what the judge said. So the court is here. If you look up here, that is the court. It's a huge court. So the case was given to the judge president, 2 judge presidents and a senior judge. So 3 judges presided over the case, and they really grilled that lawyer. The lawyer was grilled. He's a grilled lawyer right now. If you see him right now, where he is, he has never gotten so much grilling, so much questioning from the judges. The judges wanted to know his argument. They wanted to know his case. They wanted to know why he's saying the Lungu didn't want to be buried in Zambia. They wanted to know why he's saying there was no agreement. You know, all these questions. And people got worked up. As the case was going, they got more and more worked up. And that is how it went today. So I'd like to thank all of you for watching. I'll see you again later on tonight. And a good day to